All right, you guys ready to keep going?
Yeah, I'm gonna resume my timer now.
Yeah, same.
I didn't do that. Fuck.
It doesn't matter. It's like a minute or two.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Dag.
What the? I heard that through the microphone.
Dag, I'm scared.
Wait,
Nigga,
Wesley, was that street or Trey?
No, that was Trey.
That was me, nigga. I'm about to die. Look, I'm gonna be up in heaven trying to make some video games, man.
Oh god, that's gonna be a part of a highlight. I feel like.
I said, bah! Oh, someone help me.
Okay, all right.
What is really going on, people? You're watching episode 26 of the Market Podcast. Just a reminder to everybody, even though we don't have video feed on our, on our shams, we still show trailers overhead. Head over to YouTube, watch us. You already know what it is. But if you're already watching on YouTube, then you get a gold star. I don't have to do what I'm about to do to y'all. Remember, you can still listen to the audio version on most podcast platforms. I don't know why you would go to a place other than Spotify or YouTube. Make sure to follow our socials so you don't miss anything. And I'm still here, aka Boobus Batch, the butteriest biscuit in the batch. Clap the clip, smack it quick. You already know.
Cheap.
About the rest of y'all.
Oh dear. My name's Hag. How's it going, everybody?
Damn, you got to the thrust real quick. It's Wesley, But anyway, I'm just here,
I said it.
We're hanging out.
It. They don't know what it is.
And I'm Nico. Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Welcome back.
Another week being stuck at home. Doing
I hate it here.
almost nothing.
Get me out.
I want to play golf.
Whoa.
We're not talking
Nico
about
wants to play golf. I want to do other things. Everyone wants to get back into the world, but COVID says no. COVID says,
Please,
I
Mr.
beg to differ,
COVID,
sir.
may I have some golf?
COVID dono.
Cheap.
So, what's everyone been playing this week? I know a certain Final Fantasy game came out.
Now, all right.
Oh, that was now.
I'm gonna get the other games out of the way. Still playing Apex and Warzone because I have friends, I guess. But the only game that really matters is a single player experience, as most good games are single player experiences. Don't at me. Final Fantasy 7 Remake. Now let me educate y'all. In case you thought that this was just pretty much just like the regular Final Fantasy 7 with upped graphics, you're wrong. You're stupid. You're dumb. Sell your games.
Wow.
This is They hit key story beats in this game. You still have the same characters, but everything has just been overhauled. Game.
I hear you. Buddy.
It feels good to do literally anything in the game. Game looks so beautiful, bro. They did a close up on one of the characters' faces. I saw the hairs on her face. I saw the follicles on her face. I was like, what?
Forget what?
I don't know how they do it, man. Anyway, let me stop.
So yeah, you've been playing Final Fantasy 7. I have yet to get it. I'm gonna buy it sometime later this year, but I'm trying to stop myself and just I wanna play the games that I have on my plate right now. Obviously, I don't have the time to do that at the moment. It's time to play Final Fantasy 7 as well, I mean. And but I did play the demo, and the demo was clean as hell, so I'm looking forward to it. And I think Wesley's in the same boat there. He's gonna get it soon, though.
Yep, I'm gonna get it Friday when I get paid.
Yes, sir.
Oh my goodness.
But wait, were you done with what you were doing?
Me?
Hike.
No, not really. So a few other things. Apex and Warzone, of course, like Trey mentioned. You got friends out here, trying to hang out, trying to stay close to people when you can't.
Also, you
leave.
actually have friends.
Can't be in the same room as them.
Look, all of you are just
I guess.
distractions until good games come out.
At least I know where I stand, I guess.
I thought you knew.
And then, of course, Doom. Still making my way through that because that's really fun. I think I'm on the third or fourth mission now. Fourth mission, I think it is. It's actually a pretty long game from what I've heard, so it'll take me a little while to get through. But it's a lot of fun to just kind of jump in and it's you don't have to be. There's no story or there is a story, but there's not a story that you're really going to be paying attention to. Or most people aren't going to be paying attention to. I'm not paying very much attention to it, so I can just kind of come back every few days, hop in, just go in and shoot demons, jump around, figure out where I gotta go to get these collectibles, how I gotta get up to this, how I gotta get over there from over here, because there is some platforming and stuff in that game, and it's pretty easy to jump in and out of. The other big thing that I gotta talk about is I got beta access to Valorant, which is Riot Games' new first-person shooter, tactical first-person shooter that's in closed beta right now.
Yeah.
It comes out this summer, and I have to say it's quite fun. It's not a game that I've played before. Like I haven't played tactical first-person shooters really. Like I've barely messed around with CS:GO, so I'm not very familiar with how that game feels, and I'm not really. With that gameplay, I play, other first-person shooters more often, but it's something new, and I'm enjoying it. Our friend Kevin has it as well, has access to it as well, so I played a little bit with him too, and I'm looking forward to trying more of that in the near future. Wesley, what you been doing?
He wanted me to go next. I've just been making my way through Metro Exodus still. I'm at least halfway through, I'm pretty sure. Really enjoying that game. It's really beautiful graphically. I had hooked up. I had said the height the other day. I was like, look how good this looks. I was playing on my monitor, running at like 1080, 100 frames. I was like, imagine what this looks like on 4K. And he's like, well, you can see that for yourself because we got a 4K TV here. I was like, oh shit, yeah. So I plugged my computer up to the 4K TV and I set the game to 4K and it was running at 30 FPS and it looked so damn good, man. Oh man.
I was about to say it looked terrible.
No, it looked fucking amazing.
That game's ridiculous.
But yeah, that game's awesome. I'm loving that. Then I think that's it. I'm not playing anything else. Doing one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. All right, Wesley, what you been doing?
I've been playing mostly League of Legends. It's taken over once again. I gotta wait till
again.
Yeah, I gotta wait till my internet gets to a standard at which I can play. I just bought a Wi-Fi card, a new Wi-Fi card for my PC. Hopefully that will help my connection issue. But yeah, we'll see, because I want to get back into ranked and playing again.
Just be quiet.
I've just been playing norms.
Yeah, hopefully that'll fix your internet issues.
Yeah, because Josiah was yesterday. Josiah was playing League while I was playing League, and he was connected upstairs and lagging minimally.
Yeah, I don't understand.
So I don't know. I think it's a me problem. But
perhaps. All right. Well, let's hop into the news, boys. Before we do that, let me just go through real quickly. So, for anybody who's new here, we should probably put this part closer to the beginning of the podcast. But for anybody who's new here, we're Black Market Gaming. This is the Market Podcast. We're four of us and occasionally a guest. You normally sit around a table. Currently, sit on a Discord channel and talk about games, anime, memes, and other cool shit for about 90 minutes every week. And so this week I kind of changed some of the names of the sections of our podcast. I was trying to unify the theme, because it's kind of all over the place with the market themes and the deep web themes, and it wasn't doing so well. So I kind of unified it around like a like a black market video game store or black market, like you come, because you come here for the spicy news,
Spicy.
So first things first, we're going to go into what I'm now calling our just browsing section of our podcast.
Just Bowsering.
Just Bowsering. So let's go browsing, boys. Probably a better word. It's probably a better phrase there, but I don't know what it is yet. All right, we got 6 aisles to go through. That's what we're gonna say out here.
Whoa.
Oh, that's a change.
Yeah.
Why are we touring people throughout the entire aisles?
We're not just windows anymore.
We're not just windows anymore. We're the entire aisles.
I have better stuff to do than to show people an entire aisle. That's crazy.
Number
That's not what I was
one.
hired for.
Number one. We're gonna do a quick recap of what was shown and announced during the Inside Xbox that happened last Tuesday, which I mentioned at the end of the podcast to look out for what's coming this week. And there's some other things that weren't directly announced during the Xbox or during the Inside Xbox, but stuff we'll talk about as well. Later on in the podcast, we're going to go over the Phil Spencer interview from a couple weeks ago with IGN and talk about some of that news. And then, of course, we have a big PlayStation news to go over as well. Exciting times. All right, first things first. Let's run through what happened during the Inside Xbox. This Kotaku article from Ian Walker sums it up pretty well. First things first, a early version of Grounded, which is the upcoming survival game from Obsidian Entertainment that got announced last year. I think it was during an Inside Xbox, actually.
I remember us watching the trailer.
Yeah. It's coming to Xbox Game Preview on July 28th. So it'll be out in a beta form, basically, in an early access form. I think it's coming to Game Pass, so you can play it that way, even when it's in Game Preview. So, yeah, we'll have to check that out. Remember, this is a game where you're tiny in like a yard.
I believe
basically.
You said it's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids last time.
Yes.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember, yeah.
Next, this is actually pretty substantial. I haven't actually seen anybody reporting on this separately, but it's some Xbox Series X news. So we learned during the Inside Xbox that the Xbox Series X you can store games on external hard drive, like we've talked about previously. But actually, in order to play those games, you have to move them to the internal. Either the internal SSD or the Seagate expansion drive that you can buy and put in the back. So you actually do need to move these onto the newer hardware in order to get the benefits of the console out of them, with the whole speed benefit of using an SSD. So basically, what this means is you can keep your games installed on your system, but whatever games you're going to want to be playing at the current moment, whether that be some multiplayer games you're in and some single player games that just came out or some ones that you're jumping back to, you want them to be on your main console. It doesn't sound like you'll be able to play them if they're on the external hard drive, but the thing is, now you won't have to download them again.
Yeah, okay.
So
it won't take as long to download, instead just transfer.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the reality is that the difference between the speeds that you get from an internal SSD and the Seagate SSD and a old spinning hard drive coming through a USB 3.0 connection is going to be pretty big. There's a big difference there in those speeds. So I think that's why this is just the way it is. I wouldn't be surprised if PlayStation does a similar thing, though they haven't mentioned anything about this yet, about using external hard drives.
They honestly might have to, because we haven't heard of them having specific expansion slot drives like Xbox. So,
yeah, but we do know that you can upgrade your hard drive in it.
But yeah, we know that. It's just we don't know if they have any integrated way of doing all that.
Yeah, we don't know if they have an external one.
Yeah,
that at least that much for sure. Okay, yeah, moving on. Forza Street, which is the mobile Forza game, is coming to iOS and Android on May 5th. We did, I think, hear about this a few times before, but now it's coming out soon. Playing the game in the first 30 days will earn players a special car as a welcome gift. So if you're into Forza and you like playing racing games on your phone, then there you go. That's coming out in less than a month. Next thing, a bunch of new games are coming to Xbox Game Pass. Journey to the Savage Planet and Football Manager 2020 will be coming to Game Pass for Xbox One and PC on April 9th. Mistover and Stranger Things 3 the game are heading to PC Game Pass in the near future with Human Fall Flat expansion Thermal. I guess that's interesting. Is it just an expansion coming? I have no idea. Avasti Chronicles and Yakuza Kiwami are also coming to both Xbox Game Pass for PC and console eventually. So there's some new games coming to Game Pass. Minecraft Dungeons is coming out May 26th, which we kind of already talked about because it was supposed to come out this month, but got delayed to next month. The Journey to the Savage Planet expansion, Hot Garbage, launches on April 15th.
That's what it's called.
So, that's what it's called.
Okay.
Yeah, so that comes out this Wednesday, so by the time you hear this podcast, that'll be out. Gears Tactics is coming soon. The game went gold. It is now done, basically, and ready to launch soon. It'll be coming to PC Game Pass at launch. It's not coming to Xbox yet. It's coming to Xbox at a later date. It's coming to PC first. And we also got some details about the story. It says it'll put players in the shoes of Gabe Diaz, the father of Gears of War 5 protagonist Kate. While the developers plan to include a multitude of custom cosmetic options, there will be no loot boxes or microtransactions. That's another thing that I threw in there.
That's good.
Several countries in Western Europe now have the chance to use Project xCloud for themselves. So good for you guys. I think it's like 11 countries. I have it here. Let me read them out real quickly. Where is it? Belgium, Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, Ireland, Italy, Netherlands, Norway, Spain, and Sweden. Finland! If you're in one of those countries, you can have a chance to get into the preview for Project xCloud, which is the cloud gaming solution from Microsoft, and try out all the games that are on there, including these new additions, Dragon Age Inquisition, Unraveled 2, and Sims 4. And a few more things. Hotline Miami Collection is now available on Xbox One, so if you're a fan of Hotline Miami or you want to try those games, the collection is available. A game called Atomic Crops will be coming out on May 28th. I don't know much about that. And finally, the next Sea of Thieves update arrives on April 22nd.
I heard about that game, Atomic Crops.
Which features an expanded reputation system, an overhauled competitive mode, new cosmetics, and perhaps most importantly, cats. You can now have a cat as a pet. They already added monkeys and birds. So that's everything that's in the Inside Xbox conference. We mentioned xCloud, we mentioned Game Pass editions. There's two more things. We're getting some more UI updates for Xbox. They're basically just refining the Xbox guide. When you press the Xbox button, the guide comes up. That sort of thing. It's going to be more in line with the new home screen. So yeah, there's not too much detail there, but there's a couple pictures that we can throw up, of course. If you guys want to check it out.
Yeah, I can throw them up real quick right there.
Bow. It's there now.
Yep. It's up there.
Also, here's a little cool thing. Microsoft has also added a Surprise Me button back into your games and apps library, serving you a random unplayed game from your library when you hit it. So if you're just like, I don't know what the fuck I want to play right now, give me something. You click the Surprise Me button, it'll literally just open a random game in your library.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah. So that's just a cool little tidbit. But there's other, that's not obviously not the main stuff, but that's just something I can easily point out. And then lastly, this is more general Xbox news.
Real quick, something 2.0 is you can customize the guide tabs. It looks like. That's cool. So you can kind of make it whatever you want. Actually, that reminds me of the way that kind of PlayStation does their quick menu. You can like change what's on there and what order it's in.
Yeah.
That's cool. And lastly, this is actually Microsoft news in general, but it obviously pertains to Xbox. Microsoft is making most of their events digital first until July 2021. This is coming from an article by Landon Wright. Just as that basically due to the pandemic, everything's kind of being moved to a digital first event or digital first like mindset. So, don't expect huge presences at these events anytime in the near future because,
of course,
everything's up in the air. Yeah, we already know this. We already discussed what all that means. So, any thoughts on all this Xbox stuff?
We still haven't gotten to any craziness, and I hear that Microsoft might be just like saving all the big stuff for like the XO events and stuff, or that's what that's called, right?
Yeah, the XO, maybe XO 20 this year.
Yeah. So right now, I think we're just putting the last touches on this generation here.
Yeah, we got more stuff to talk about with next gen later. Like I said from the interview, we'll get to that. All right, so that's all the Xbox stuff in there. Then there's I want to go over this Nintendo situation here. So Nintendo has warned about potential credit card fraud concerns on their platform, because it sounds like there's some. The actual article from Nintendo Life says Nintendo warns of an increasing number of credit card fraud reports, and they're giving us some advice here. So I'm going to read this article. It's by Ryan Craddock. It says Nintendo has today issued a warning to account holders regarding the dangers of credit card fraud, noting that the number of user inquiries relating to the matter has been increasing. The message comes from Nintendo's customer support team and highlights the fact that people have been accessing others' Nintendo accounts and illegally using their credit card information. To combat this and add extra security to your account, Nintendo recommends that you set up two-step verification to help prevent any unauthorized sign-ins or logons. A step-by-step guide on how to set up two-step verification can be found on Nintendo's official website, which we've copied for you below.
Let me do that right now.
So yeah, go into your settings on your Nintendo account and activate two-step verification. So every time you log in for the first time on a device for your Nintendo account, you get a separate code to use to log in, so that people who don't have access to presumably your phone or your the backup codes that they give you won't be able to sign in. And yeah, you can figure out how to do that on their website. I just kind of wanted to blast that out there. It's pretty important. Take care of your information. Don't let people get your credit card numbers, especially if it's like a debit card. You don't want people taking your money.
On Nintendo, I don't have my I never tell it to save my number. I just enter it in every time.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, also you can use the Google Authenticator or Microsoft Authenticator apps or any other authenticator apps with this two-factor authentication, which is really nice. Makes it a lot easier. All right. So then we got some more interesting news. Number 3, Stadia, Google Stadia, has kind of pseudo-launched this past week. I'll explain what I mean. On April 8th, so, just a few days ago, last Wednesday, Phil Harrison posted a blog on the Google blog, I guess. Yeah, blog.google.com. Actually, it's not even .com, it's blog.google. Cheap. So basically, starting on April 8th, you can get Stadia Pro for free for 2 months. This is actually kind of a smart move by Google, and you'll see why. I'm gonna read this post in its entirety. It's not very long. We're facing some of the most challenging times in recent memory. Keeping social distance is vital, but staying home for long periods of time can be difficult and feel isolating. Video games can be a valuable way to socialize with friends and family when you're stuck at home. So we're giving gamers in 14 countries free access to Stadia Pro for 2 months. Anyone who signs up will get 2 free months of Stadia Pro with instant access to 9 games, including Grid, Destiny 2 The Collection, and Thumper. You can purchase even more games on the store, which will remain yours to play even if you cancel your Stadia Pro subscription. If you're already a paid Stadia Pro subscriber, we won't charge you for the next 2 months, so that's cool. After that, Stadia Pro is $10 a month, but you can opt out of your subscription at any time. If you're new, playing on Stadia is simple. Go to Stadia.com to sign up, download the Stadia app on Android or iOS, play on your laptop, desktop, or Chrome OS tablet with your favorite HID-compliant USB-supported controller, mouse, or keyboard. Play over Wi-Fi on Pixel or many supported Android smartphones. With increased demand due to more people at home during this time, we're taking a responsible approach to internet traffic. For Stadia, we've always adjusted bandwidth use based on a variety of in-home and local internet factors. To reduce load on the internet further, we're working toward a temporary feature that changes the default screen resolution from 4K to 1080p. The vast majority of people on a desktop or laptop won't notice a significant drop in gameplay quality, but you can choose your data usage options in the Stadia app. This is akin to other companies out there that are doing similar things. YouTube currently is doing defaults of 480p instead of 1080 to reduce like the internet bandwidth usage.
Yeah.
But you can always change that when you start the video. I find I have to do that right now on my phone. It'll always start at 480.
Okay, because I was under the impression that they were like limiting that bandwidth entirely.
No, they're just doing a different default.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So that people who aren't like paying attention to the quality or aren't really like going in there and changing it already using less.
Yeah,
that's basically it. The last one's just a little help thing. So I think this is pretty cool. This is definitely a way for people to get into Stadia, and it's also a good use of this kind of thing during this time where we're all stuck at home, can't do much.
Yep. Especially
if you're somebody who doesn't have who's not someone who has the time to game normally. So you don't own a console, but you have more free time on your hand right now. You could be like, maybe I'll try this Stadia thing, play some Destiny 2 with my friends who've been playing it for the past few years, something like that, unfortunately Destiny 2 is not cross-play.
Yeah, I was about to say, you might want to hold off on Destiny for...
Yeah, but it is cross-save, so there's that.
Until they make the game fun again. But there's other games, though.
Yeah, there is. It says there's 9 games for free, and then you also have the ability to buy any games on the platform, and you get to keep those games even when the Pro subscription is done. I think that means that Stadia Basic is out. I'm still confused about that. That's what I gotta figure out.
Yeah, I don't know how that all works.
Stadia Basic was supposed to be the free version. Is it out? Let's see. What does this article say? Back in February, Google says Google Stadia's free tier is coming sometime over the next few months. As early as April or May. Okay. So, that might be what this means. Or maybe that means that it's coming out after these 2 months are over, basically. This is also a good way for them to get a bunch of people in to test their service more, and have more stress on the system. So,
yeah, Google's gonna need to be a little more clear with how they're marketing their.
That much is apparent.
Versions,
more
for lack
power,
of a better term.
More power to the people who do that. I'm good though.
Yeah, but the cool thing is right now, and I might even do this. I could literally download Stadia on my phone. Probably, I gotta double check if my Note 8 is supported. But I could download it on my phone, get Stadia for the next 2 months for free, and I can hop on Destiny 2 on my phone because I have cross save enabled, and just play my Destiny stuff on there. Or even if it's just like I'm sitting down, I don't know what to do right now, I might just hop on and do some inventory management, take care of something simple, It's a good way to do that, and it's free right now, so why the hell not?
True. Free's always a good motivator.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you
for sure.
Moral of the story: if you've been curious about Stadia, now is the time to try it out.
Yep. There you go.
because you're getting the full Stadia experience for free, basically, other than buying a controller or a Chromecast if you don't have it.
Experience is a good word.
Yeah, exactly. It's a neutral word. All right, guys. Number 4, aisle number 4 here. Apparently, we have yet to even see what the PS5's SSD can truly do. This is an article from Push Square. This is kind of crazy. When I read this, I was like, "Oh my god!" So the article said the headline of this article is: "Remember that PS5 SpiderMan tech demo that was running on an early low-speed dev kit?"
Cool.
So this article is by Sammy Barker. I'm just gonna read it real quickly. It's short. You can always rely on users of Reddit to dig deep into their favorite topics. While we wait to get our first proper glimpse of PS5 gameplay, then here is a fascinating tidbit. The Marvel Spider-Man tech demo, which emerged last year, demonstrating the speed of Sony's next-gen system, was based upon an, quote, early low-speed, quote, development kit. That's according to Wired, who first reported on the demo on a month or so before it emerged, courtesy of a shaky cam social media post. If you never saw it, you can watch it below, and there's a link here. And it says, and here's what Wired wrote about it. Spidey stands in a small plaza. Sony presses a button on the controller, initiating a fast travel interstitial screen. When Spidey reappears in a totally different spot in Manhattan, 15 seconds have elapsed. Then Sony does the same thing on a next-gen dev kit connected to a different TV. Dev kit, an early low-speed version, is concealed in a big silver tower with no visible componentry. What took 15 seconds now takes less than 1.8 seconds to be exact. So that was a low-speed dev kit that took the loading time of fast traveling on Spider-Man from 15 seconds to 0.8 seconds.
Oh, jeez.
So, what could? How
It has
much
to be
more
instant
is
at this point.
How much more is the? I mean, it's already under a second. So how much more is this gonna? How much faster can this even be?
That's what I'm saying.
You're gonna be there before you select the option.
Exactly. You're gonna be like, I think I want to fast travel, and then Spider-Man's, do you want to fast travel? I can make that happen for you.
They're gonna be like, wow, I'm already there, no questions.
Want to see me run to that mountain?
Want to see me do it again? Exactly.
Yep.
Something interesting though, and I actually forgot we didn't talk about this during the Xbox thing. This was a while ago. The interview with Phil Spencer. He said an interesting quote about how he saw the PS5 specs and everything from Mark Cerny's presentation.
Oh, I have that later on in the podcast. I got it all in there.
Oh well, I'm gonna spoil it a little bit.
All right.
But yeah, he has a quote in there where he says after seeing all of that, he's even more confident about the Xbox and everything that they're doing, that the Microsoft team's doing. So I wonder, after saying that, and I honestly, this isn't this SSD thing isn't like the end all be all for the consoles, but I wonder if that's changed something in that statement.
So he was like, okay, I'm feeling confident after seeing that. And then Sony was like, oh, you thought that was it?
Exactly.
Nah, that wasn't it.
Yeah, like I said, it's not a huge aspect of the console that would be like, oh, geez, all right, but like, yeah, I just wonder if he like after saying that was just like, oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, this is interesting. Man, I can't wait for fast load times. I was playing Doom this past week, like I said, and like when I first loaded to the world, or when I die, or when I decided to go back to the last checkpoint, there's a loading screen. I'm just like, God, now I know what I can be getting, and I'm really excited.
Forget it. Phil is gonna pull a Elon Musk. Remember that one time where Elon, it was when they were talking about like comparing the Porsche Taycan to the Model S, and the numbers were in the Taycan's favor, and Elon literally goes, "Oh yeah, by the way, we're gonna roll out an update for the Model S to give it." I I think, what do you say, like 20% faster acceleration or something?
Yeah. It's like we're just gonna do a firmware update that makes your car go faster. It's like what?
Like what?
Cheap. Figure making your car go faster be DLC.
Exactly. That's what Phil's gonna do.
Do you want your car to go fast, rumor?
He's gonna be like,
$20.
They're like, yeah, the PS5 loads games faster than the Xbox Series S. You're like, all right, well, next month we're coming out with an update that's gonna make it do even more.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait for next gen, dude. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
If y'all can't make Destiny load faster, it doesn't matter. And y'all ain't then how fast are you really?
It will be, dude. I promise you, because it's like I said, it's Destiny 2 loads fine on PC. It's just the fact that these consoles are so slow.
Oh, Chief, that's funny because you guys kept talking about like load times in Destiny, and I didn't understand that, and I was like, "What are you guys talking about?" And then you just reminded me that I only play Destiny 2 on PC.
Yeah, and then on top of that, Destiny 2 it's both a network thing and a speed thing of the console, so it's like both. So hopefully it'll improve. I actually just recently moved my installation of D2 on my PC to my SSD, to my extra SSD, to see if it goes any faster. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, you haven't opened it up?
I opened it. I played it once since then. It didn't seem to make a significant difference, but I think it was kind of like getting the wits about it, you know.
All right.
Aisle number 5. Valve may not have given up on the Steam controller just yet, as a new patent has revealed. The Steam controller kind of like went out of like they sold the last batch of them back in November. I got one of them. They were like $5.
Cheap.
And it was cheap. And the controller is weird, but it's also very unique and innovative. I'm hoping for them to do something more high quality. So let's see if maybe this might be what that is. They have a new patent that was revealed that's more like an Elite controller that allows you to switch components on it.
Yeah,
like take out the D-pad and put a different one in kind of thing. Mm-hmm. There's a whole thing here. This was filed on this publication date March 26, 2020. So, it was filed in September of last year. So, maybe it sounds like they might have already known before they canceled this thing, they were going to make a new one.
Yeah.
So, they might be working on a new Steam controller, and I think that's pretty cool.
So they haven't given up.
Yeah. Actually, here in the picture I'm looking at, I don't know if you guys want to pull it up.
Yeah. I'm looking at it right now.
You're seeing there's actually a thumbstick, like where there's normally a thumbstick there, but then you can put a D-pad instead of the thumbstick, which is interesting. That's what that's looking like.
Yeah.
I wonder if that would be good for like fighting games or something. I don't know. The Steam controller is so weird. The plastic feels so cheap, but like it's a very high-tech controller in terms of like what it does, because it's like 2 touchpads on it. It's very strange. Very strange thing. But I'm excited to see what if this actually turns into something, because I think the Steam controller had a place, and I feel like it's kind of sad that it isn't around anymore. But like I said, it was cheap in terms of its make, so hopefully the next one will be even better.
Yeah, man. All right, because I see in the Twitter thread, people are like, "Oh, finally, Jesus Christ!" So it seems like there's a demand for it. Yeah.
All right, and holy moly, aisle number 6, the Silent Hill rumors keep on churning like butter.
They're piling
I'll tell you,
up.
man.
It's everywhere.
So
didn't Konami already say Niz?
Yes, that's the funny thing. So 2 weeks ago, we talked about a bunch of Silent Hill rumors towards the end of the podcast. Then last week, we talked about how those rumors were refuted by Konami, saying that no, they're not true in the way that we're talking about them. They did say that in a way that they were just like, yeah, like we're not saying that we're not bringing back Silent Hill, but we're just saying that what you guys have been saying is not correct. So don't get hyped up for that. And since then, I've seen like 5 different articles about new Silent Hill rumors. So I'm going to read 3 of them.
All right.
Okay.
They're not very long. I'm not going to go through the second one all the way because that's not necessary. The first one I'll go through all of it, and the third one I'll go through all of it. So the first one is on pushsquare.com, and it's by Sammy Barker. We read an article from earlier. This one says, rumor, Sony has been working on Silent Hill reboot for 18 months. So we're going back in on the Sony rumors here. Sony working on a Silent Hill game kind of thing. It says, there's a lot going on with Silent Hill at the moment, and it's actually become quite difficult to unpack. Here's what we think we know. Japan Studio is working on a series reboot for Konami with Gravity Rush creator Keiichiro Oyama directing the project. He obviously started his career working on the original Silent Hill, so it is a superb fit. Artist Masahiro Ito and composer Akira Yamaoka are also said to be involved. Alongside that, there is speculation that Silent Hills will be making a comeback, revived recently by Instagram images posted by the manga artist Suhiro Maruo. These appear to be separate projects at the moment, and it's unclear how they're connected, if they even exist at all, of course. It's the Sony reboot that it currently appears to be further along. According to rumor monger Dusk Golem writing on Reset Era, the title has been in production for about 18 months. The story goes that Konami was looking for a partner and Toyama wanted to return to horror. Sony is footing the project's bill, but it believes brand recognition gives this title a better shot at success than, say, a Siren sequel. Konami will get a percentage of the profits. Apparently, the reboot will be announced this year, presumably alongside the PlayStation 5 slate of in-development software. There's too much smoke here for there not to be something afoot, so at this stage, we actually believe the rumors are accurate and a new Silent Hill really is in development at Japan Studio. Of course, the proof will be in the blood-soaked pudding, so let's wait for confirmation before fully letting our imaginations run wild.
Please, more horror. I want more horror games.
So this is sounding pretty promising. And then there's a rumor going around here that Kojima has likely passed on actually working on a Silent Hills revival, in lieu of working on another project. Basically,
you said Kojima passed, and I thought you were gonna say passed away, and I was just like, wow, that took a turn. Holy.
Yeah, that was
just mentioning that.
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
Just casually while we're talking about
That's
Silent
what I'm
Hill.
saying.
No,
I was like, what?
That would be like the top of the section here.
Of course. I was about to freak out. I was like, what just happened?
Yikes.
This is actually coming from Dusk Golem as well. Dusk Golem said that I highly expect Kojima is going to pass on the Silent Hills offer. Sound like he's working on a different project, and I'm not honestly too surprised by that, because as much as that whole thing is upsetting, and I'm sure he wanted to work on that game, he's probably just on to better things now.
Yeah,
it's been
honestly.
like 5-6 years probably since he actually started developing that game, so it's been a while.
Yeah, and he's been finished Death Stranding for a while. He's probably been labbing with a lot of other ideas, you know.
Mm-hmm. Plus, he wants to make movies and all that other stuff. So,
Man wants to do everything.
yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he kind of takes what he had with Silent Hills and actually just works on his own thing related to that, rather than trying to reboot that project. Honestly, I don't even know if he would want to work with Konami again. I don't think that would happen.
I would not.
Yeah, I wouldn't if I were him either.
Never.
Yeah, at least not for a long time. There's not, like, you know, something obviously happened there. We still don't know what that is. Yeah, and then there's another one here that's talking about the same thing as the first article, talking about how it's supposed to be announced this year. This is something from Dusk Golem as well. It says, in terms of cost, Sony and Konami are both fitting the bill of development. Footing is the correct word. I don't know why it says fitting. Sony is making it. Konami gets a share of each copy sold and just partially have to fund development. I do hear the plan is the game will be revealed this year, and at this point it's nearing being in development for about a year and a half almost, but it's hard to speak concretely about these things. So that's basically the source of what we were talking about in the first article. So there's a lot of Silent Hill things happening right now, which is not very surprising considering this series has been dormant for a while.
Yeah. I hadn't gotten into Silent Hill when it was actually like a thing. Mm-hmm. So I know like next to nothing about it, but I really, like I said at the beginning of this topic, I really want more horror in the gaming space, because honestly it's my favorite genre right now to play. Mm-hmm. And adding a big, well-renowned horror title to the mix would be great.
I agree. Hopefully this comes to fruition, and maybe we'll get a reveal of this new game alongside the PS5 reveal or something like that. I think that'd be pretty ideal, in my opinion. If that is all, huh?
Something tells me that if it did release, it wouldn't be alongside the new console.
Yeah, I don't think it would release alongside the new console, but it might get revealed alongside it. I'm saying we might see it and be like, oh, running on PS5.
I think it'd be the summer after.
Yeah, that's true. And if that is it, with
last thing, for those who don't know, the last few attempts at making a Silent Hill game, even if you don't count PT, haven't gone over well. I'm putting it mildly.
Yeah, so when was the last Silent Hill game, actually? Let me look this up.
New one or like reboot?
I guess new one.
Not reboot, or remaster.
New one, Silent Hill game. 2012? I think I see Silent Hill Book of Memories. Is that it?
I'm pretty sure, and from what I remember, it didn't go.
Oh, that came to Vita. That was like a dungeon crawler.
Oh, whoops.
Oh, here, there's Silent Hill Downpour on PS3 and Xbox 360. That's in 2012. It's got a 68 on Metacritic.
Okay.
Yeah, and there was one in 2009 on the Wii. Yeah, so it's been a while. For sure. Oh, that one on Vita did even worse. 58% on Metacritic.
Yeah, everyone's just like, can you guys do Silent Hill right? And they're like, no.
Damn, I'm looking at screenshots of like Silent Hill, like the games, like in-game stuff. Oh my god, this shit looks scary. I'm ready. Please make it happen.
Never.
All right. Let's move on to our temporary section of the show that I'm now calling Malware Inspection, which is our section about news related to COVID-19 or coronavirus. This week we actually only have two things, so that's why there's not much. There really isn't much here. Kind of a good thing, I guess. Since the last few weeks we've been talking like extensively about news in this section. So first things first, it appears that the ESA is not hosting a digital E3 event after all.
Yeah, they were just like, yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So this short article from Eurogamer by Tom Phillips says E3's organizer, the ESA, has revised its plan to hold an online version of the now canceled E3 2020. When canceling the physical event last month, the ESA stated it was, quote, exploring options with our members to coordinate an online experience to showcase industry announcements and news in June 2020. But this will no longer happen, PC Gamer now reports. Instead, the ESA will simply help showcase, quote, individual company announcements. In other words, as we have already seen announced, publishers are now doing their own thing, such as Microsoft or Ubisoft, or alternatively not doing anything at all, like Bethesda, the last week as well.
Yeah.
Given the disruption brought on by COVID-19, this is a quote, given the disruption brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic, we will not be presenting an online E3 2020 event in June, an ESA spokesperson said, quote, instead, we will be working with exhibitors to promote and showcase individual company announcements, including on e3expo.com in the coming months. We will look forward to bringing our industry and community together in 2021 to present a reimagined E3 that will highlight new offerings and thrill our audiences. And we talk, yeah, that's basically it. So, no digital E3 either. They're just gonna help out companies show off their announcements if they have them. So that it's kind of sad. we don't have something to really look forward to at a particular date and time this year. We're just gonna have to wait until like Xbox is gonna show off more Series X stuff and announce price, or PS5 is gonna get revealed, or whatever Ubisoft and EA and Bethesda and Square Enix and all those guys decide to do on their own time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a depressing year, but pandemic. What are you gonna do?
I'd have to look it up. I don't know what EA's talked about with EA Play. I imagine EA Play's physical event got canceled, but I don't know if they're going to have some sort of announcements that they're going to do online. Last year they didn't even do a press conference. If you remember, they were just like, "Yeah, never mind."
And everyone was happier for it.
Because every year they do these weird press conferences where like there's some fan news, but it's all very clearly for like the investors, the way that they present some of the announcements. So it's like,
Was that the one where they keep having like Just Dance and whatever?
That's Ubisoft. Ubisoft was Just Dance. No, that was EA's, like, for example, the one where they were bringing back Command and Conquer, but they were putting it as a mobile game, and they had people on stage to cast a mobile tournament, and we're just like, why are you doing this? Very few people care about Command and Conquer, first of all, and even less people care about this mobile game as an esport. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Especially when it was like, if it's a new game, no one's gonna know what you're commentating.
It's true. Yeah, I don't know why I thought that was a good idea, but we'll see.
What that shit looks like.
I just remember people on the iPads and stuff just sitting there, and I was like, "Yo."
They were just sitting there staring down at their laps, and I was like, "Y'all aren't serious. There's no way you are."
So
actually, let me look at that game on the store. Let me see what it's doing. You can go on.
Actually, I don't think I even see anything about EA Play 2020. I see an article here from realsport101.com. It says EA Play 2020 after E3 is EA's showcase next to be canceled? ? What?
Where's the? There has to be like a. This is like the.
Oh right.
All right. So yeah, it has a. Remember, this is out of 5.
Okay.
It has a 3.9.
Okay.
And 1 million plus downloads.
Jeez.
Which if you're not sure, that's pretty freaking low, especially for
a free mobile game.
For a free mobile game that was shown, what was it, last year?
2 years ago, I think it's 2 years ago.
That was shown 2 years ago. On average, the gameplay scored a 3, graphics 3.1, and controls 3.1. The 3 highest ratings, of obviously being 1 through 5, being 5, 4, and 1.
So, to my understanding, it's a very mid game.
Wow, the 3 most recent scores are all 1 stars. Horrible cheat game. Do not install this game. This is my recommendation. As this game is a big cheat. Just had to write another review because this game has made me so angry. I am never buying an EA or
2 reviews.
That's crazy.
It's actually got, on Google Play, it's got a 3.9 like you said, but on the Apple Store, it's got a 4.6 out of 5.
After playing 2 weeks from
users.
0.
Yeah.
Sorry dirty Apple users. But you're dirty.
Oh dear.
Wait, what? Yo, that's terrible. Hold on. This is the last one, then we can move on. After playing 2 weeks from 0 level, I'm assuming that means like the earliest level, which I guess is 0. You will see you are losing all the round because opponent is 60 level player. You are low level.
So the matchmaking just doesn't work.
Yes, think of it as like in League, if you just start out and you're like level 1, no experience, and you're going up against level 30s.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
All right.
Oh dear.
But don't worry, the esport. If you're good enough, you can join the esports.
Fun.
Sure.
Fantastic.
That's what I like to see.
It looks like EA Play 2020 is a thing, but it doesn't. I don't see any information about if it's been canceled or not. I imagine it has to have been at this point. There's no way they're going to host a physical event in early June. That's like less than 2 months away. Jeez, E3 would have been less than 2 months away. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
That's upsetting. All right, well, moving on. The second and final thing in our malware inspection section today, is that in a somewhat scary move, Sony is refunding all digital pre-orders of The Last of Us Part 2 and Iron Man VR, and both games have been removed from the digital storefront. So this is a big yikes.
It's gonna be hey guys, it's gonna be a minute.
Yeah, so if anybody missed it, last week they delayed both of these games indefinitely due to logistical issues around releasing them, not actually about the games not being done or having bugs or something like that. Naughty Dog basically said The Last of Us is pretty much done. But it sounds like that they're just going to have trouble releasing physical and digital copies alongside each other, which Final Fantasy VII recently had a problem with that because they lost their physical copies were going out in like Europe and Australia a week or so ahead of time, before the game actually launched this just past Friday. So I guess games are going to have. We talked about this last week, obviously, that games are going to have trouble going forward. But the fact that they refunded digital pre-orders and then ultimately removed the games from the store, these games might not be coming very soon.
Yeah, as Wesley said, it's gonna be a minute, man.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I don't know what they're going to do now with this, but because the thing is about The Last of Us is that you don't want to release The Last of Us, Sony I should say, from Sony's perspective, you don't want to release The Last of Us Part 2 so close to Ghost of Tsushima, which comes out just the following month in June. From the original release date of The Last of Us, I'm saying, in May. So they're probably not going to put it out in June, so at this point they might just push it to the fall. We'll have to see what happens. It's a shame. But
Gotta be a launch title for PS5.
the good news is that the game is in good condition and it's almost done. The bad news is we don't know when we're gonna get it.
Yeah.
Look, man, I already have Final Fantasy VII. I'll manage.
It's true.
But I want that game.
I'll always have League of Legends, so it'll hold me.
True, I have TFT.
Yeah.
And League if any of my friends play.
I have plenty of games, so I'm not in a
Any
rush.
of my friends.
Okay. Well, I guess I've been demoted since the beginning of this podcast.
I mean, you just don't ask questions, man.
All
Alright, we can move on here. Just a FYI, in case you guys hear any noise in the background, there are thunderstorms rolling through. Just letting you know.
God's punishing us for not dealing with COVID-19 sooner.
Probably. We have nothing in the trailer section today, believe it or not. So we're going to move right on to what used to be called our payload section. I'm now calling playtesting.
Aha.
So let's dive into the nitty gritty. That's what I'm saying.
No.
From now on.
Okay, no.
You shouldn't.
All right. We got two major things today, which is we're going to go through some highlights from the Phil Spencer interviews on IGN. And then we're going to go through the reveal of the PlayStation 5 controller. Ooh. Look at ooh.
Yo.
All
Sound
right.
like a mom talking to their book club.
I'm saying.
Forget ooh.
Hey, this time we're reading lawn care.
Forget lawn
Forget
care,
lawn
man.
care.
I'm like,
Look at all.
anyway.
Where did that come from?
This is the right podcast? I'm on the right podcast?
No.
So the first things first, there's two big things here. Phil Spencer feels really good about power in comparison to PlayStation 5, and he feels pretty good about price. So I'm gonna read this article from IGN, which is pretty fitting considering this article is from IGN. The article is written by Joe Screbbles.
Of course.
Yeah, that's the boy.
Scrambles.
Screbbles. But yeah. So it says head of Xbox Phil Spencer has said he feels, quote, really good about how Xbox Series X lines up against PlayStation 5. on power and price, but says Series X pricing will, quote, stay agile in the run-up to launch. So this is some pretty important things here. Speaking to IGN's podcast Unlocked, Spencer was asked how he felt after watching the PS5 tech specs reveal with Mark Cerny and how the Xbox Series X stacks up against its key rival. Quote, no doubt, I felt really good about how the Series X lines up. Now, I think Mark and the team did some really good work on the audio processing and that they talked about their SSD technology is impressive. We like that. We saw the work that they did, but we took a holistic view on our platform from CPU to GPU to RAM to throughput velocity architecture, latency, backcompat. It took us years to get to this point. I will definitely have respect for any platform team that's launching. It just takes a lot of work. But I will say, when we finally saw the public disclosure, I felt even better about the choices that we made on our platform, and I kind of expected that I would.
Yep.
So yeah, Wesley mentioned that before. It is a confident response, and Spencer continued that line of thinking with regard to one major unknown for the next-gen consoles, price. The Xbox boss explained that Microsoft began with a solid price target for Series X, one he doesn't disclose, and whether that could alter spending on or depending on Sony's choices. Quote, you have to set a price target at the beginning for yourselves, and then you kind of roll in as you see the competition come in and start to go to market planning. I feel really good about the price that we're going to be able to get to. I feel good about the price and the performance capabilities that we have with Series X. I feel incredibly strong about the overall package. It's funny. Quick note here. Reading these quotes sounds weird. It sounds like he's saying the same thing over and over again, or like he talks it kind of weird. But like when you hear him say it, it doesn't sound very weird. Because I listened to this entire interview, so I can say for sure that it doesn't sound that strange. Then he says, quote, we're definitely going to be continuing to keep our eyes open as we go towards launch, looking at what the competition is doing, but we have a plan, and we feel very solid about our plan. We think it's a winning plan. I believe we have a plan that can win. We've got to go execute. But I feel really good about the plan that we put together.
Really quick, did he just say we have a winning plan? It's a plan that wins. It's a strategy that wins. It's like
yeah.
I think Phil.exe has stopped working.
He's just very excited, man. You get excited, your worlds jumble up. You know how it is.
And then lastly, it says, quote, we're getting incredible support from Microsoft. They're very linked in with what our plans are, and we're going to make sure we stay agile on our pricing and that we have a good plan going into launch. So there's two important things from this article, from this particular question and answer. One, they feel really good about how they stack up against the PlayStation.
Yeah.
And that could mean, okay, we're decidedly more powerful than the PlayStation 5, or it could mean, okay, we stack up really well again. We're going to have a good competition. Yeah. And he even says, he respects how Mark Cerny talked about the audio enhancements and the SSD technology that they worked on. He's like, he respects that. He thinks it's good. But he still feels confident in what he's got, in what his team's got going on over there. And something I learned, I was watching. I haven't finished listening to it, but Podcast Unlocked came out. Their episode this week was about, or I guess it was technically last week, episode about them actually analyzing their own interview with him and talking about kind of digging deeper into what the answers were that they got from him.
Yeah.
And I learned that the same team of people who worked on the Xbox One is the same team of people who've been working on all of the consoles after that, and even this console. And during the interview, Phil Spencer kind of hints at the fact that it's not really the team's fault that the Xbox One was the way that it was at launch. It was more so the leadership. He's talking about Don Matrick.
Yeah.
Because he says the team's doing great. It's got nothing to do with the team. And I would agree, considering what we've seen from the One X, which is a great console.
Yeah.
Xbox Wonks.
And then the other big thing here is the price. And he says they're going to stay agile on price. Specifically, he says it like that. And then another thing that he says that isn't actually written explicitly in the article, he talks about he has support from the CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella, and the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer, to basically, be competitive on price. So what he's saying there is, we're not going to come out more expensive than the PS5. That's what he's saying. I think that's pretty clear at this point.
They have some wiggle room to work with, is what he's saying there, and that's really
he has
interesting.
Microsoft's blessing to work to be competitive.
And this also goes back to a question I stated, or I gave to you guys on a couple episodes ago, where I was saying, is it what did I say?
You can do it. Sound it out.
It was like along the lines of Microsoft being a corporation that has a lot of money, gains a lot of money in different areas, whereas Sony, their main income is the PlayStation, and so Microsoft may have more wiggle room there, and it seems that I was right in saying that.
Yeah, I think you were. I think that, like I said, I think it's clear at this point that they're not going to come out more expensive than the PS5, and in the chance that they do, it's going to be in a place that's still comfortable for consumers to spend money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think both consoles will.
Yeah. It would be now, what would be crazy is if Xbox Series X ends up being cheaper than the PS5, which is even possible at this point with what he's been saying.
It's even possibler.
It's even possibler.
Yep.
Yeah. Going on to the next thing, Phil Spencer says that this is pretty simple to go through. The Xbox Series X is going to have a single global launch regardless of the situation. So he's saying basically, even if COVID-19 were to cause a delay on the console, they're not going to release the console in different regions at different times. He kind of talks about how that kind of method doesn't really work anymore. We're in an internet age where everybody has access to see everything. It doesn't make sense for us to launch a console in one place and not another. And he even talks about
Japan. How Japan, it really hurts them. Yeah. Did you have a quote there where it was just like, every time I like walk through the streets of Japan, I'm like hurt by the lack of like knowing that there's a lack of Xboxes and something that could have done better.
No, you'll see what I'm saying because I'm gonna read the quote. But he also says that they don't really have a plan B at the moment of if COVID-19 delays the console. But like they're figuring out as it happens. He's like, this is unprecedented even for us. Like we had to figure out what we're doing. The quote here says though, I will say, having lived through the Xbox One launch, I know that significant delays in region launches hurt us. It hurts us in the sentiment of the fans, and every time I go to Japan, I'm reminded that we were, 9 months late in launching there with the Xbox One?
Yeah.
So the console came out 9 months late in Japan. That's a lot.
Yikes.
Like, of course the momentum is gone. Like, Japan obviously not, Xbox isn't super popular in Japan regardless, but the fact that it came out so far after the PS4, people who wanted next gen only had one option.
Yeah.
So they bought the PS4. So it's like they didn't even have a chance.
Unfortunately.
And I got two more things to pull from this interview. But if you guys are curious, you should definitely go listen to it. It's the Podcast Unlocked interview. You can listen to it on podcast services or on their YouTube channel. And then there's also a separate, about 20-minute interview on their next gen watch that they have on IGN. They're kind of like getting all the news that they can on next gen consoles. It's really good. I'll go listen to it. So, second to last thing, Phil Spencer explains why the Xbox Series X doesn't have an optical audio port. Which I didn't even realize that this wasn't there until they mentioned it on the podcast, and I was like, "Oh, wait, you're right. I don't remember. I guess you're right. We didn't see that." It's just it doesn't have one. So I'm gonna read the quote here.
So explain to me real quick before you do. Explain to me what that means. What is an optical whatever?
So there's an audio port on the back. It's actually been on every Xbox console since the first one. and it's probably been on PlayStation since the third one. It's a little plastic-looking port that's got like a cover flap that closes down. There's a red light inside, and optical audio it's a fiber. That's what it is. It uses fiber to transmit audio usually to your stereo system. That's usually what you use it to. You would put it into your stereo system. It's also on the back of a lot of TVs.
Yeah.
And it transmits high quality audio at fast speeds over over fiber, which is literally the speed of light. And so it's always been there as something that you can use as a high quality option. But this console is not going to have it. And he talks about how it's not. There's these little things add up in terms of cost of the console, and two, it's like we have the numbers on how many people actually use this port, because we can get that information obviously about our own console. So I'll read the quote here. Quote, I'm going to use kind of weird terms, but the marginal cost of everything is important. So if you look at a part on a console that's maybe $1 or $2, and you say, okay, how big of a deal is it that inside of a console? That's a few $100s. But then you say, okay, we're going to plan to sell, 100 million of these consoles. So you take $2 over 100 million. Now you're $200 million over the life of the program. Spencer also noted that there were spatial considerations, meaning getting the actual component to fit in the console, but also how many people use the optical audio port. Quote, we also, frankly, know how many people use it today on the console. So I know you do, but talking to Ryan McCaffrey, he's like, so I know you do, but we see it. So we also kind of do the math of we have to put a part in every console that X% of people use. Is there a place for us to spend that money if we can support it in different ways? So he's saying basically, not that many people use this port, but it's going to end up on every Xbox Series X. It would end up on every Xbox Series X. So is it worth the money? Is it worth the space in the console? Can we take that money maybe and put it into something better?
Okay.
And that's basically what the decision was behind the decision to remove it. Some companies that use the optical audio port for their special headsets, like Astro, have already been working with Microsoft for a firmware update on things and trying to make things better so they can work through USB instead. So they're already working with headset and audio partners, which is important because Xbox has been touting the fact of backwards compatibility not only with games but also with their peripherals. So this is very important. But I just wanted to throw that out there because I'm sure there are people who are disappointed that it's not there anymore. I'm slightly disappointed that it's not there, but I really didn't use it at the current moment because I don't have a stereo setup down here, and we don't have an Xbox up in our main entertainment area anymore. And optical audio is just, it's a luxury in a way.
Yeah, I don't. We broke out here.
You really can't use it unless you have a stereo system or you have like a soundbar that has an option for it.
Yeah.
The optical audio port on the back of most TVs isn't out. It's to take the audio from the TV and put it into the stereo system.
Yeah.
So yeah. Plus, audio through HDMI 2.1 is going to be pretty high quality these days. So, HDMI 2.1, according to this article here, supports Dolby Atmos. So you're going to get pretty high quality audio regardless.
Yeah. Then also jumping over to PlayStation 2, they might do the same thing, especially since they have their new audio upgrades and stuff that they're doing.
Yeah, so. I'm kind of curious what they're going to do. Like, part of me feels like, they're definitely going to keep it because they have all these audio upgrades. But at the same time,
that's
like I said, HDMI 2.1, it supports what we need nowadays. I don't really know if we need optical audio ports anymore. Very much. As much as it's really nice, it's a cool extra thing to have for sure. But I don't know. They'll make the determination. Ultimately, it's a small thing. It doesn't cost too much money. It's not going to make or break the price of the PS5 versus the Xbox Series X.
Yeah,
it was just more of like why isn't it there? Let's explain it. Sort of thing.
Because someone's going to care about it. Someone's going to be absolutely devastated that it's not there.
Yeah, I'm looking at the back of the Xbox Series X now, and yeah, it's not there. I didn't even realize that before. I guess it wasn't there in the mock-up either.
I don't think so.
Was it not there in that leak?
I don't remember us listing it off. No.
All right. Last thing I wanted to talk about real quickly, and I think this is hopefully the last time we ever talk about this, because honestly, there's not much more to talk about here, which is Xbox's Phil Spencer says that Microsoft and Platinum Games have both moved past Scalebound. Here we go. It says, Phil Spencer spoke to the situation on Scalebound in a recent chat with IGN's Ryan McCaffrey. During the lengthy interview, McCaffrey eventually brings up the subject of Scalebound, what happened, and whether or not it has a chance to ever see the light of day. Spencer answered the last one pretty thoroughly. It's a pretty definitive no. The answer shows up in a full around the 40-minute mark, which you can check out below, but then the quote here says, it's a tough one, Spencer said. I have a ton of respect for Platinum Games and Kamiya and the team, and there's no animosity between the teams. We tried to do something and it didn't work. I regret that we were as public about it as we tried to go do about what we tried to go do. We just didn't get there with Scalebound. We're not working on it, and I'm not at Platinum Games today, but I'm almost positive they're not working on it. It's something we've all moved past. So it sounds like there's no hard feelings between the teams. There's
it wasn't anything negative as far as the initial incident.
And as Phil Spencer has said in the past, they were too public about it. They announced it too early. They should have been working behind the scenes, confident that this was a game that they were going to come out with before they actually revealed it.
Which happens sometimes.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised that they did that because, like I've said before, that was in 2014 where the Xbox One really needed some good stuff to look forward to.
Yeah,
and so they announced a lot of things, and a few of those things that year did not come out. So, yeah, and this was one of them.
Yeah,
it sounds like it's not happening.
That was just extremely unfortunate.
Yeah,
but you already know it's going to be like a mini resurgence of like hate for them.
Yeah, but ultimately they know it's not just it's pretty obvious at this point, I feel like, from my point of view, that it's not just like, oh, they were working on something and Microsoft was like, no, never mind, we're not doing this anymore, cancel it. It was more of like things just did not work out between them, and they the game just didn't flesh out. That's what they wanted it to. It's a shame, but it happens.
Though there are a lot of reasons as to why that could be the case.
Yeah,
and I'm interested X amount of time down the line when lips are allowed to be more loose.
Yeah.
And they're just like, okay, this is really what happened with Scalebound.
I think that'll probably happen more on the Platinum side. I feel like I wouldn't even be surprised if you see maybe some sort of Platinum Games documentary in the near future talking about their move to self-publishing, and then they talk about that as one of the things that kind of drove them towards that. And you get more information on that there. That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
All right. Playtest number 2, which is another big thing we're gonna go through, and then we'll get out of here with our final section. PlayStation on last Tuesday came out with and showed off the new controller for the PlayStation 5. It is not DualShock 5. It is now called the DualSense. And it looks it looks familiar. It looks familiar, like it's very DualShock-like, but it's not the same controller. I'm sure Wesley will have a picture up right in the middle of the screen during the entire conversation here. And
I got a few of them.
There's only 2.
So just to visually describe it, though, real quickly,
I got a few of them.
It is a very DualShock shape, but it's also got more of an ergonomic look to it. More of, like people have been saying, it looks like an Xbox controller, but it's more of like a ergonomic handles with obviously the Xbox controller is a little bit slimmer. The DualShock is generally a little bit wider because of the dual thumbsticks in the middle. So you have it's a white shell with some black in the bottom here. It's a white controller. That's the big thing, obviously, that we talked about. The face buttons are just simple white. The D-pad looks very similar to the D-pad on the current console. The thumbsticks look a little bit improved in terms of their texture. The PlayStation button is no longer a circle PlayStation button. It's actually the logo, like physically cut out in like silver. There's a speaker on there. There's a microphone on the controller, which we'll talk about in a second. There's a mute button for that microphone as well.
Yep.
There's a start button, the menu button, and there's also a new button. That's it's a evolution of the share button called the create button, which we'll talk about in a second. Mm-hmm. The touchpad is still there. It's not rectangle anymore. It's a little bit more of like a trapezoid kind of look. And the light bar is even still there. It's not a light bar on the back of the console. It is now built into the sides and the back of the gaps around the touchpad.
So now you can actually freaking see it.
Exactly. Thank God.
Yes.
Literally, when the PS4 was revealed and like we saw the controller and everything, I thought that was like the dumbest thing ever.
Same.
I just didn't understand why it would be on the back.
Yeah, it's like that's cool, but why can't I see? Why'd you put it in the only in one of the only places I can't see it?
Yeah.
And we would later learn that the reason why that was there in the first place was for PSVR. But yeah, now we're kind of getting a better version of what the DualShock 4 is, quite frankly. So let me read the article here, because this is on the PlayStation blog itself, so this is pretty important. Here we go. We've reached an exciting milestone with PlayStation 5 as we're starting to ship our new controller and its final design to our developers who are implementing its unique features into their games. But first, we wanted everyone in the PlayStation community to get a first look at the DualSense wireless controller and hear our vision for how the new controller will captivate more of your senses as you interact with the virtual worlds in PS5 games. The features of DualSense, along with PS5's Tempest 3D audio tech, will deliver a new feeling of immersion to players. Hence the reason why this is called DualSense. When PS4 launched in 2013, the DualShock 4 wireless controller garnered a lot of positive feedback from gamers and developers for being the best PlayStation controller yet, and for introducing forward-looking features like the share button. This brought us to the next generation. This brought us to the next question: how do we build upon that success? After thoughtful consideration, we decided to keep much of what gamers love about DualShock 4 intact, while also adding new functionality and refining the design. Based on our discussions with developers, we concluded that the sense of touch within gameplay, much like audio, hasn't really been a big focus for many games. We had a great opportunity with PS5 to innovate by offering game creators the ability to explore how they can heighten that feeling of immersion through our new controller. This is why we adopted haptic feedback, which adds a variety of powerful sensations that you'll feel when you play, such as the slow grittiness of driving a car through mud. I wish they gave two examples there. That was weird that they only gave one. We also incorporated adaptive triggers into the L2 and R2 buttons of DualSense, so you can truly feel the tension of your actions, like when drawing a bow to shoot an arrow. We talked about these already when they talked about these back in the Wired article, which is the first piece of information we got about the PS5. Yeah. But now they're kind of talking about them in a little bit more detail because they're actually here on this controller that we're looking at right now. Continuing on, this provided us with an exciting challenge to design a new controller that builds off of the current generation while taking into account the new features we were adding. For example, with adaptive triggers, we had to consider how the components would fit into the hardware without giving it a bulky feeling. Our design team worked closely with our hardware engineers to place the triggers and actuators. The designers were able to draw the lines of how the exterior of the controller would look and feel, with the challenge of making the controller feel smaller than it really looks. In the end, we changed the angle of the hand triggers and also made some subtle updates to the grip. We also took thoughtful consideration into ways to maintain a strong battery life for the DualSense's rechargeable battery and to lessen the weight of the controller as much as possible as the new features were added. So they're still trying to keep it light and they're trying to keep battery high capacity. For the buttons, you'll notice there is no longer a share button as we had with the DualShock 4. Don't worry, it's not going away. In fact, we built upon the success of our industry-first share button to bring you a new Create button feature. With Create, we're once again pioneering new ways for players to create epic gameplay content to share with the world, or just to enjoy for themselves. We'll have more details on this feature as we get closer to launch, so we're going to learn more about that in the future. DualSense also adds a built-in microphone array, which will enable players to easily chat with friends without a headset, ideal for jumping into a quick conversation. But of course, if you're planning to chat for a longer period of time, it's good to have that headset handy. Now let's talk about the colors. Traditionally, our base controllers have a single color. As you can see, we went with a different direction this time around and decided on a two-tone design. Additionally, we changed the position of the light bar that will give it an extra pop. On DualShock 4, it's set on top of the controller. Now it sits at each side of the touchpad, giving it a slightly larger look and feel. In all, we went through several concepts and hundreds of mock-ups over the last few years before we settled on this final design. DualSense has been tested by a wide range of gamers with a variety of hand sizes in order for us to achieve the comfort level we wanted, with great ergonomics. Our goal with DualSense is to give gamers the feeling of being transported into the game world as soon as they open the box. We want gamers to feel like the controller is an extension of themselves when they're playing, so much so that they forget that it's even in their hands. We are thrilled about sharing the final look of the DualSense controller with our fans, and we can't wait for everyone to get their hands on it. I'd like to close with a message from SIE President and CEO Jim Ryan to the community. So here's a short quote from Jim Ryan. DualSense marks a radical departure from our previous controller offerings and captures just how strongly we feel about making a generational leap with the PS5. The new controller, along with the many innovative features in PS5, will be transformative for games, continuing our mission at PlayStation to push the boundaries of play now and into the future. To the PlayStation community, I truly want to thank you for sharing this exciting journey with us as we head towards the PS5's launch in holiday 2020. We look forward to sharing more information about the PS5, including the console's design, in the coming months. There you have it, Lee. That is the DualSense.
That's more what or less what it amounts to. Just.
So I have to say quite confidently that PlayStation is, there's no doubt, PlayStation is obviously taking more of a risk and they're trying to do more with their controller than Xbox is. Xbox is doing more of we refine what we already got, just going to give that to you. PlayStation's more like, yeah, we're refining what we got, but we're also trying to do some extra things here. We got, this is definitely a Sony thing. Sony's known for doing this sort of thing. I mean, hell, they put a touchpad on the controller. And they put a light bar on the back of the controller, like those weird things that they did there.
Now, if you, I don't know what some people are looking at. This controller look clean. This controller look nice.
To me, at first when I saw it, I think I really liked it. But then when I started thinking about how the console matches up with the controller and stuff, and then even after like seeing like some of the mock-ups and stuff, I don't know if I like the two-tone white over black.
I definitely like it. We said it in our group chat with our friends, but it looks very futuristic.
Yeah.
Kind of like I think some people have been saying like a Detroit Become Human.
Yeah, definitely.
Sense, which I definitely feel that. And
on the other
thinking,
oh yeah, go ahead.
Both thinking in my head and of the because they have like mock-ups of what like the custom colors could look like. That made me even more hype. I don't think I've ever been hyped to use a controller before, except for maybe the Switch.
Yeah.
And I'm actually pretty excited to use this controller. Especially,
I have too.
I've said it 1,000 times. Sony, mother of God, just get good custom colors for your controllers, please. I think they'll do it this time because two-tone. But oh my goodness, you don't know how it's so boring.
Yeah.
Like here and now introducing red. It's like that's
yeah.
Is that it? And they're like, yes. Normally the controllers are $50 or $60, but this one will be $80 because red. And I'm like, wow, it really.
And yeah, and so like on the flip side of like me with the design perspective, though, I think, and I'm hoping, this is the first like PlayStation controller that I actually like, because I hate the DualShock 4. I don't like it. It doesn't feel good in my hand, and I hope this is a controller that I like, because I do want to, like, didn't they say that the controller will be backwards compatible, or did they not?
PS4 hasn't, PlayStation hasn't specified, but I feel like they probably will be.
Because if so,
at this point,
I might just, like, if it is something that I like, I might just buy one to go with the PS4 Pro.
you're saying you could use your DualShock 5 on the PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
I feel like you probably would be.
You should be able to. Yeah.
I don't see why you wouldn't be.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to change the technology drastically. So, I would hope so. It's just Bluetooth, but it is.
So yeah, I'm actually excited to have it in my hand. Though I, again, like I said, with the whole color scheme and aesthetic, I'm a little fearful of how the actual console is gonna look. Cause I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of how the colors and everything works on it, but like it looks cool and futuristic, so maybe it's just something to get used to. I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be unique. That's something good going for it.
That's probably what's happening. It's just I'm just not used to seeing something like this.
Yeah,
I've had moments where I've looked at it and I was like, oh, this controller looks really good, but then I've also had moments where I'm like, So
that's exactly it. Yeah.
Ultimately, for me, it's gonna come down to
I like it
just how it feels and stuff, how much is improved in the field department, because that's what I think's most important.
And also, you have to think about how it looks in actual, like, action, real life, because it's also different from a
picture.
Yeah, picture that's been, like, edited, done up, and yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to get this thing in my hands, dude. I really want to know how it feels to play with. It's got a Type-C port in the back, by the way. Like, nice little addition right there. I see that. People were slightly concerned, by the way, because we can't see the headphone jack, but I don't think they're going to get rid of that. I don't think we have to be concerned.
Think that. They even talked about.
If they do, they'd be fools.
They even talked about using the headset for it, or they could get rid of it and have the console Bluetooth.
They should do both, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Because that would be they really don't. They really shouldn't get rid of it.
Yeah.
That would be a big mistake in my opinion.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Although I would love the option to have Bluetooth on the console.
I totally agree.
Yeah. Then I could just use my Galaxy Buds or something. But anyway, yeah.
All right, I'm actually gonna not talk about this little extra tidbit here about this because it's not really important. So we're gonna move on to our final section of our show, the shortest section, hopefully, and used to be called the News Blast. Now it's called Flash Sale.
Yeah.
So,
Hi, why don't you just run through it all to save time?
Yeah.
All right. We got 14 things on here, but it's not gonna take that long, believe me. So first things first. Saints Row the Third is getting a remaster. It'll be available on PS4, Xbox One, and the Epic Game Store on PC on May 22nd for $39.99.
Cool.
Will feature retextured environments, character models, and visual effects, as well as enhanced graphics with a new lighting engine. And it will come with all of the DLC from the original game.
Cool.
So if you are
I forgot about that game.
If you are a fan of Saints Row the Third, or you want to play it again, feel free to pick it up next month. I like that game. I played through the entirety of that game on 360 back in the day. I probably won't pick this up anytime soon, but maybe in the future, maybe down the line. Number 2, alongside this news, developer Volition has reaffirmed that Saints Row 5 is still in development. So, if you're a Saints Row fan in general, you can look forward to that.
Cool.
Also, alongside this news, it appears that both Mafia 2 and Mafia 3 are getting definitive editions in the near future, as both have been rated by the Taiwan Digital Game Rating Committee.
This is what I screamed out last week's podcast at the end.
Oh,
jeez. Me sick. Yeah, so that's interesting. Mafia 2 was on last gen. Mafia 3 is on just this gen, Joe, I think. So it's interesting that it's getting a definitive edition. I know the game had some bugs and stuff like that, so it needed some refinements. But so we'll see what happens. I'm sure it might be coming just in time for next generation. So we'll see. Number 4, Capcom game that was supposed to be a PS4 exclusive, Deep Down, which was announced all the way back in 2013. It has been basically dead for a while. Now we've recently learned that unfortunately the game was in a quote near complete state before being shelved. Capcom had previously said in the past that it hadn't given up entirely on the title, but it's pretty clear at this point that we're not going to see it come out in the way that we'd like it to.
Yikes.
The news here is really just the near complete state part.
Which means
that's
that something terrible or unprecedented had to have happened.
Yeah.
For that game to be shelved so close to completion.
Yikes.
Yeah. Or they literally were just like, wow, we really don't want to put this game out.
Of which usually they would have like 9 times out of 10 they would have done that like at least like some months before it came out. Because usually they'll have a meeting like between the year and 6 month mark before the game's supposed to come out. But if it says near complete state, that means at least from what I know, that means it had to have been within 4 months of it actually coming out.
That's what I'm thinking.
So something drastic had to have happened.
Yeah, it's a shame. It'd be kind of cool if it was like if it like dropped as like a PS5 launch title, but that's not going to happen. I don't think at this point.
That'd be nutty. Won't happen though. So fans, shut up.
Number 5, rumor has it that Apple is going to buy VR company NextVR for $100 million. NextVR has about a decade of experience in broadcasting live events in virtual reality to a number of different headsets, and they currently hold over 40 patents for video upscaling technology used in VR headsets.
Whoa.
So they're a pretty relevant company, and it looks like Apple might be buying them, which is particularly important because Apple hasn't really shown any interest in VR until now. They are more of a AR company. The majority of their products can't even support like a lot of their like Apple devices can't even run VR because they don't have dedicated graphics in them. So it's kind of interesting that they're going this direction, but we'll have to see what this means. They might just want those patents, in my opinion, because that just means licensing money. Number 6, Riot Games' new game Valorant, that's currently testing in closed beta, has broken Twitch records, reaching upwards of 1.73 million concurrent viewers of the game on Twitch. That was last week when they first started to come out with the beta. It was tons of people were watching it, dude, including me. Watching people play it, so I can try to get a drop, which is what I'm about to say here. This is certainly helped by the fact that watching a streamer who has drops enabled means you might get the chance to play the game yourself. So that certainly helped boost the numbers up. But that means that's good either way, because that means people either want to watch someone play the game or they want to play the game themselves, and that's a lot of people.
Yeah,
and that's at once too. Fortnite previously held this record of about 1.7 million, and they came very close to beating their own record of viewership, 1.74 million of the 2019 League of Legends World Championship.
Gee, is that why people were hashtagging Fortnite is dead on Twitter?
Maybe.
No, actually, that was about something else. That was apparently about people who are not happy with the state of the game right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw an article about it briefly. Number 7. Animal Crossing New Horizons has sold over 2.6 million copies in Japan with only 10 days on shelves, according to Famitsu's monthly sales estimates for March 2020. So that's a lot of sales over there. They continue to break records over there with Animal Crossing in Japan.
Yep. Not surprised. That's like I said, always been like their game.
Yeah.
But the next part is amazing to me.
So, side note related to this, China has banned the sale of Animal Crossing New Horizons as it has become a safe haven for Hong Kong protesters.
And that's what's amazing about it. It's just, you know your game's good when China bans you.
Yeah, exactly. Number 8, Nintendo assures that more Switches are on the way after supply shortages hit markets these past few weeks, and they were having trouble keeping them on shelves. According to GamesIndustry.biz, Switch sales had jumped to over 150% in March 2020.
Whoa.
Contributing to the shortage.
You could not buy any Switches.
People were at home and they were bored, so they all bought Switches. That's what happened, basically.
I mean, yeah, that is what it makes perfect sense. Switch is still has the lowest price tag on it of all the consoles.
Yeah, it's true. Number 9, if you were hoping that Counterplay Games' new title Godfall would be making its way to PS4, you will be disappointed. The game is only intending on making its way to PS5 and PC this coming fall.
Okay, I was half right.
So, meaning that the game will not be downgraded for current gen consoles in any way. It will only be made for PS5. Though, you know, there's only so much to that because it will be available on PC, which obviously will have some graphics options. So, it's not going to be the best of the best that it could be.
Yes.
But I'm looking forward to seeing more about Godfall. It looks cool.
Please be fun.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Please be fun. Number 10, game series Crysis by EA and Crytek may be coming, or maybe making a comeback in the near future if an ominous tweet is anything to go by. This just happened today. The Crysis Twitter that has been dormant since 2016 recently put in all caps on their Twitter, receiving information or something like that. What was it? I have it open here. Receiving data.
Okay, yeah, something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So something's going on, basically. Clearly, it's got 39,000 likes on that post.
It's going to be an esports phone game.
All right. Yep.
Please don't do that.
Why not? Why? Isn't that what you want?
No.
You can be an esportsman.
No.
Keep it going.
I love Crisis. I wanted to come back. Number 11. Video Game Chronicle has reported, citing multiple sources, that Resident Evil 4 Remake is in development and has been in development since 2018, and that it's coming in 2022.
Alrighty.
According to this article, it is indeed being made by developer M2, which we discussed last episode. And the quote from the article here says, it's also understood that Shinji Mikami, the director of the original Resident Evil 4 game, gave his blessing to the remake and has provided informal advice for the project after declining to lead it himself, which we kind of talked about last week because he was supposed to be the second M in M2.
Yeah.
The Resident Evil 4 remake will be directed by a newcomer, according to a source with knowledge of the game's development. So somebody else is directing it.
Okay.
But the boy gave his blessing. The game's gonna be taking, like, it's like 4 years in development. Ooh, I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. 2 years in development. 2018, 2 years. It'll have been in development. It comes out in 2022, like it says they will.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Last 3 things here. Assassin's Creed 2 will be free on PC through Uplay starting this Tuesday. So if you want to play that old game, go pick that up on PC. There is no end date that was given for the giveaway, so I don't really know if it's going away, but I would go pick it up as soon as you can if you're interested. Number 13, developer CD Projekt Red has stated that the next-gen version of Cyberpunk 2077, which is like the updates, the upgrades that they're going to have for next-gen, will, quote, take some time. So it seems that it's not going to be at launch of the next-gen consoles.
All right.
So that's unfortunate, but no surprise. So we can wait.
Game's been delayed, I don't know for how long, so whatever.
And lastly, number 14, Resident Evil 3 Remake has already shipped 2 million units. For comparison, RE2 Remake shipped 6.5 million units since its launch. So, you know, it's on a good track.
Cool.
There is an appeal for it being so short, so that, you know, longer games you have to kind of commit to them. Mm-hmm. Whereas this one's just like, okay, you can bang it out in a few hours, you'll be good.
Yeah. Plus it has a multiplayer mode. So there's that
True.
too. You want more content.
That, and now that people have seen them, like they've seen what they can do with Resident Evil 2 remake, they were like, oh, okay, now they have a point of reference going into the next remake.
Exactly. Yeah, people are more confident in buying the next one. All right, I think that's it, ladies and gentlemen. It's our show.
Take some.
I have to. Oh God! Stop! Please stop. Okay, there we go. All right, yo. All right. That's gonna be it for episode 26 of the Market Podcast. Thank you everybody for watching. Remember to give us a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and comment if you want to say something or don't, whatever. We want to hear y'all's opinions on today's topics, or again, don't, whatever. Subscribe if you want to see more. Don't forget. You better never forget, ever forget. If some of y'all are sitting here wishing you could listen to the show while you're doing something, and I can't stress this enough, don't bring me into the bathroom. I don't want to hear no ploops as I'm speaking my piece. Wash your hands though. Look no further. We're on a number of podcasts: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, that other one, and more. All links are in the description. Same goes for you audio listeners. And if there's anything you wanted to see from this episode, hop on over to YouTube at Black Market Gaming. You already know what it is. And lastly, if for some ungodly reason you ain't over watching us on YouTube, even though we don't have video, it doesn't matter. Why would it matter? I'm gonna break all your games.
Yeah, we're just getting right into the meat of it.
Exactly. He's just gonna do it. He's finally gonna go do it. How are you gonna break the digital games, Trey?
I want to know.
I want to know exactly.
There's coding. Coding can break games. I will edit the code in your
deep.
games.
So you're coming in like a virus.
If you have an account, gone. It's mine now. I'll take all of your. If I play the game, I'll take all of your equipment, and then I'll redistribute the rest of it out to the community. I'm a giver, not to you though.
That reminds me of on Apple, on like iPhones and stuff. They had a bug, I think a couple of years ago, where some people's iPhones would what was it, like mismatch phone numbers and names.
Oh, gee.
Wait, what?
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, like a couple of years. It was, I think, 2 years ago, something like that.
Like in your contacts, sort of thing. Oh God. It's like, yeah, I'm calling my girlfriend. My mom picks up. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Can you imagine someone picks up, be like, "Hey, babe, wanna fuck?" And they'd be like, Jeremy.
All right.
This is your mother. We need to talk.
We need to talk.
You're gonna be like, "Yeah, I know." It's like, what?
Hold up. All right, that's enough. I'll see you guys next week.
Out of here, bro.
Hopefully, we won't be doing this audio version for too much longer, but it's gonna be at least 5 more weeks, unfortunately.
All these non-YouTube watching ass niggas.